Hello everyone, Scott here again. Or is it Superman? Sorry, bad joke. It's a 3D movie and I got my Superman shirt. You might remember this from Guyver, Dark Hero, episode number 3 at GPC. That's not what this is. This is Hyperbole. I just got out of Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Now, I say hyperbole, which is the wrong way. I say hyperbole, I know it's hyperbole, but hyperbole makes it mine. I just got out of this movie 5 hours ago? It's 3 in the morning. The showing was 7:20, got out at 10:30-ish, and talked for, I don't know, half hour with a friend that we saw it with. And then talked with my friend Ryan on the phone for like 2.5, 3 hours. I drank this whole thing that I bought at the end during that phone call. And then went and got this to finish off the call. And we weren't done. We could have kept going, but we're going to be hanging tomorrow for gaming, so we cut it there. Forgive me if I have to take a drink or two. Let's also not forget the fact that I just recorded maybe 5 minutes of this without even recording it. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is the sequel to Man of Steel. It is. And it's the DC Universe exploding. This will be spoiler-free. Until it isn't. And I will make that clear. If you see me do this, spoilers are done. Man of Steel gets, it gets a GPC review next. It's number 101. I was going to shoot it tonight, but my throat is raw from all the talking, so I don't think that's going to happen. It's also 3 in the morning. I'll go into the GPC stuff a little bit. I am not slave to a date on this. I want to be bi-weekly, and it's been a month since the last one, and I'm not rushing things in the sense that I was going to take a break anyway, kind of find my focus and go from there. And I've got it, and I'm confident with where we're going, but even just taking the extra few days with this Easter weekend to refine things and shoot them and really get comfortable with it, I feel so much better about where it's going. So it's coming, don't worry. It's going to be Man of Steel. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but Man of Steel I give a 5 out of 10. And I don't give ratings on GPC, so that's why I'm doing it here. Oh, excuse me, God. Man of Steel, for me, was them desperate at Warner after Green Lantern failing to get that Marvel franchise, because they saw how they were getting left behind with their own cinematic established characters not in a universe. Understandable, you'd want that. Because if anyone can do it, it should be you. You did it first. Justice League predates the Avengers. So, once again, they're being shown by someone else something that they should have had all along. Warner has owned DC for decades, and is only now doing stuff after Marvel made their own movie studio to do it. Man of Steel has a lot in it that you could like, but there's so much in it that you don't, I feel. Some love the movie, some love the action, some love the characters, some love the style, some love seeing Kryptonians cut loose, finally. Because you only really got that in Superman 2, kind of in 3, and in 4. Superman Returns, you don't even get that much. He just lifts stuff. So to actually see Kryptonians fight, that's cool. Kind of. It was soulless. It was empty. It was dark, drab, and dreary. After Dark Knight Rises did so well, their attitude was, let's make Superman dark. He's literally a ray of shining hope. He's powered by the sun. We can't make that dark, but you shouldn't. So that's where they went. And the movie itself had good action. It had CGI man that bugged me. The IHOP scene in particular had stuff moving around and reacting in ways that don't make sense, just physics-wise. And I know we're talking about aliens fighting on Earth, but it didn't work. When a superpowered being takes a log and hits another superpowered being with it, and the log breaks, that's what should happen, because the density of that log is not it. That man could punch through that log, so that log should not hurt that man, in that sense. That would be like me taking a loaf of bread and hitting someone with it, and it hurting them, when they could actually easily break that loaf of bread. Okay? The fight scenes in that were like that. He was slammed into a wall and the wall didn't give when by rights it should have, easily. That kind of stuff. It just simple, basic stuff, but that stuff bugs me. When it bugs me, it bugs me. The villains were kind of faceless, but Feora was kind of neat, and the knife fight that almost happened was good. And I'll get into more details with the GPC, which is planned for this week. I want to have it up before April 1st, which is Friday. That's the plan. But overall, what you could like of it, it was super good. And yet, I got to admit, it's hard to point out those things. Cavill's great. Fishburne's wasted. Adams is amazing. Until they're not. And that's, as Nostalgia Critic put it, there's the Nolan ray, where the movie takes a turn and now they're caricatures of himself. This, by the way, is about as far as they got on the prior recording. So, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is the fact that the trailers blew this movie completely, showing things like Doomsday and Wonder Woman with them all teaming up to fight that monster. You know the fighting isn't going to last. And on top of that, everybody knows they're going to team up. Like, that's how these things work. You meet, you fight, you team up. No one really believes it's going to end with that. But if you're going to make this and you're going to go with your new universe in movie number 2, you can get away with maybe people thinking you will do that. Okay. It's your only opportunity to try, right? So there is that. And yet, they don't. They blow it. Because in talking, I talked to Ryan for like 3 hours after. Talked to him for an hour beforehand too, about how basic it is with wrestling. I'm a wrestling fan. I mentioned that many times. WrestleMania is this weekend. I think it might be next weekend, but it's coming up. I'm a little touch on it, but the main event is Triple H defending the title against Roman Reigns. Triple H is the bad guy, and history dictates the bad guy gets their comeuppance by the conquering hero. Happened since the Hogan days. So, WrestleMania is being promoted, and they're trying to sell you on the fact of you want to see the conquering hero take out the bad guy, giving him his comeuppance and winning the day. Now, for those who follow wrestling and know Roman Reigns, he often is booed, and the fans don't like him, and they want Dean Ambrose or Daniel Bryan back and all that, whatever. Besides the point. Hero character defeats bad guy character. If they promoted that by saying, watch Triple H retain the title. Well, you kind of just told me what's going to happen. Why would you do that? If they told you the flip side and said, watch Roman Reigns win the title. Why would you tell me he's going to do that? Why would you promote it like that? It's a foregone conclusion that's where it's going, right? Maybe not, and that's where the false finishes come in and you actually get people on the edge of their seat buying into it. Let's not forget, this is storyline, this is whatever, but they pretty much know what's going to happen, but you're selling them on the journey and the endeavor. And that's what this is. But you still don't tell them it is going to end in a team-up. Never tell them that. This movie does. It's trailers. Second trailer. Third trailer is great. It was awesome. The international Japanese one was good too. This movie will get a GPC because of the scores being so low and so bad. But at the same time, I give it a 7 out of 10 compared to Man of Steel's 5. He's a big reason why. I almost got the Wonder Woman, who literally nearly stole the movie, by the way. But she didn't have the sword and shield, so I was a little bummed by that. It wasn't even in a good pose, just kind of standing there. Should have been in like, with that, right? I'm trying to make sure the mic cord doesn't hit the bottles here. Bottle and cup, rather, excuse me. So, people hated on Ben Affleck being cast. And I love Daredevil. Go watch the episode. Archives are coming soon, by the way. Very soon. They live on this. They cast Ben Affleck, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's Daredevil. No, it's no good." And aside from the blind as a bat, hey, joke, people hated on him. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh, Affleck's great. It's good in Daredevil. Shut up." But I get it. People don't like it. But also, do you not know of The Town and or Argo? This guy's come a long way since those days from what you hate. He's going to make this work. And everybody, sorry, I keep hitting this thing. Everybody's eating their words now, saying he's the best part of the movie. Cool. And he is. He is a Batman that has to work hard to keep up. There's moments where he's literally straining and fighting, and it looks like there's a lot of effort going on just to do what he does in this. And I like that. I never even thought of that. But to keep up with all these metahumans, because we've never seen him along with that. He's always been Batman doing things easily with normal people. But now there's Kryptonians and Amazonians in this, and it's like, all right. Yeah, you know what? It's going to take a lot more effort to pull this off. It's good. I like it. And Affleck sells it. Jeremy Irons sells it as Alfred. He immediately falls right into what you'd expect from Alfred in that. And it's great. The Daily Planet people is basically just Jenny Olsen. I do like the Jenny Olsen for that, but it's literally a brunette that is there. Okay. And you have Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White, which is a huge waste of Lawrence Fishburne. Not as a character, but just the fact that he's there like 3 times holding a mug. That's it? That's all you got? Really? Okay. Amy Adams, I'm a huge fan of hers. I've liked her in everything I've seen her in. She is gorgeous, yes, but also a damn good actress. And I love her as Lois Lane. Red hair be damned, I don't care. It works good. It's natural too, by the way. So like, let's not have to fake this up. I have no problem with her having that. In Man of Steel, she was smart enough to figure out who Clark Kent was, because she saw Superman and needed to track him down, and was able to figure out through random photos and stuff of this drifter who's off the grid that he's a farm boy in Kansas. That's Superman. That is a scene I was dying for, to have her also figure out that this masked bat vigilante in Gotham is Bruce Wayne. By the way, on Ben Affleck, I can't really point it out, but on his face, kind of like here-ish, because if the Batman mask is like this, there's a spot right about here where he's got like a mark, a bump kind of thing. And you see it exposed with the bat mask. People would know what Bruce Wayne looks like. They study faces of celebrities. They would have been able to point it. I freely, admittedly, did not notice that till the ending scene, where he's talking to someone. But I'm like, that's literally an identifier. That's like having a mark in your eyebrow or a mark on your nose. Like I've got a scar here and a little scar on the side, and kind of one here and one kind of here. And I've actually got a similar mark to Affleck, kind of in the beard here. There's a spot there. If I wore a mask and didn't hide identifiers, it wouldn't work. Also, the masks are crap. As Blake Lively said, you think I don't know who you are just because I can't see your cheekbones? Now, the thing about Batman is he goes the Frank Miller route in that you really don't see him much. The audience does, but the general population is like, who the hell's that? Like, no one knows who he is. And the cops like, I saw him. I actually saw him. Like, he's like a legend, which, okay, fair enough. There's nothing of him. But today's day and age, all it takes is for one person to save him, and I'm doing this, and I'm recording, and literally, if I'm getting mugged, and Batman saves the day, let's see, there we go, took a picture, I got a picture of Batman, and I put it away, and oh, thank you for saving me. I got a picture of Batman. There'd be stuff. So it's, I get it, but no. So, flip side of all that is Superman. I like Henry Cavill. He looks right. He works for this. His character's freaking dumb. They all are. And let's talk about Jesse Eisenberg, the dumbest of them all. I thought, and not many did, that Eisenberg could be a great Luther. He nearly ruins this movie with the performance choice. I hated it. People in the audience liked it. I'm not going to lie, they did. Some people were into it, but the little tics and mannerisms he did, Ryan compared it to Ledger's Joker, and I can see it. Trying to find something new and different, but just because you do that doesn't mean you get a point for it. You get acknowledgement, but you failed, you don't get the point. It's like trying a new technique to score and not working. You know what? We're not going to give you the point anyway because you tried. You'll get, like, that was interesting. Didn't like it. It's that. And yet, Eisenberg, it could have been great. It could have been really great. His character's weird. This is weird. I'll leave it at that. Amy Adams, back to her. So many wasted opportunities. Her character, as many have put it, really has no point in being in this. I don't agree with that. I feel that she had a lot of things she could have done. The story just never went there. Excuse me. Really getting raw, so I kind of want to wrap this up, but the movie's action is freaking great. Man of Steel's had a bit too much CGI man in that way of things not fitting into the world. It didn't work. I saw a Tumblr post about Roger Rabbit where the animators took the light and hit it. So it was like swinging. So if I did this and had to edit in actual things with me, I'd have to mimic that. That's harder. And yet, that integration into things, you would instantly buy that the animated cartoon rabbit is there. Because it just is. It's fitting in the world beyond it. Is that extra step. Man of Steel didn't take that extra step. And that's how Die Another Day is the worst offender for that. The framing is like this, and he's kind of windsurfing on this ice floe doing this. And then the opening scene has the camera fighting to keep those surfers in the far distance in frame. That's my issue with CG. That's my problem with it. In that you need to treat it like things we know that we see are real to make it work. And I'll admit, my nephew and my nieces, they'll see a movie and they buy into that because they don't have the frame of reference of 80s Bond movies or that kind of thing. That's how it is. They just see the CGI thing doing this and connect with that. So it is a generational thing. It'll change. It'll change over time. But for a lot of audiences, they need to see it to buy into it. And Man of Steel had problems with that, but this one did it a lot better in that the same way Spider-Man 2 was better to Spider-Man in that you had a stationary villain with Doc Ock, Batman's kind of stationary. Things flow around him. So it works a lot better in that sense of where things are and how they're shown, and it keeps with him. And yet, at the same time, two dudes in suits fighting. The cameraman's got to keep them in frame because they're really there and they're really going. And it just works so much better for that. At one point he goes through a wall and it looks like the hole he made was the map of Ontario. Except for maybe the tiny little bit for like Toronto. It looked like Ontario. It was really, really odd. I was like, is that a thing? That's Ontario. What? It can't be intended, but it was weird. It reminded me of a Terminator fight in that they're just going all out. And I don't want to get into spoilers, so I'll move on from that. Because how are they fighting? It's kryptonite. Of course it is. Yeah, everyone knows it is, but we'll come back to that. That's not it is a spoiler because they never actually showed it. And yeah, it's in the trailers. It's kryptonite. It's involved. It showed up. There you go. So still non-spoiler going here. They fight, and it's in a way that, I mean, the movie's called Batman versus Superman, but it V, and the whole thing with that V, that instead of versus or VS, is that it's a different kind of conflict. This is Snyder saying as much, the director. He says that it's more of a ideology conflict. which makes sense. The whole thing about if there's a 1% chance, we need to stop him. Which again, if Bruce Wayne, Wayne Financial, is investing and there's a 1% chance there could be failure, they're going to bail, just so you know. And 99% is not good enough to go with. Those are the extremes, which is psychotic. Let's not beat around that. That's psychotic. That's not normal human behavior for what's supposed to be the human of the DC universe. Okay? The best of them all. So he goes to kill him. He feels it's the only way to stop him because he could be a threat when he's actively saving lives and stuff. That raises a huge question for Suicide Squad in all these villains that the Batman's dealt with. Why are any of them alive? Because if his solution is to kill, how are they imprisoned? Because you've got master assassins, literal monsters. How? And on top of that, if he's reacting this way to the Superman, which is how it opens, it's quite neat. Has he dealt with other crazy humans before? Doesn't seem like it. So, how could he... Following this movie up with Suicide Squad is the worst possible thing. Because there's stuff that people want to see more of that they're not going to see for like 3-4 years, and they got to buy their time with other stuff. The universe weaving is not going to work as well as Marvel's. If this is any indication of where we're going. At the same time, they do universe build in this. It feels like it's shoehorned. 90%. Wonder Woman is in the trailers. She's great. I had my doubts because when they cast her, it was Gal Gadot, who's the lithe, slender... I don't know what ethnicity she's supposed to be in the Fast movies, but her. And I'm like, well, she could bulk up a bit. I was hoping for, like, people always hoping for a Kobe Smulders or a Gina Carano or someone like that. And yeah, that's the physical stature would work with these guys, where Henry Cavill's like 6 foot something and monstrously buff in his suit. And then they literally hired Ben Affleck because he's taller. And really, if they want him to be a physically oppressive force compared to him, why aren't the ears taller? Well, because they're Frank Miller Batman ears. That's a thing. That's a big thing. It's Frank Miller Batman. It's Dark Knight Returns in the fighting. Oh crap, is it ever? He's got the friggin' armored suit. Like, that's Frank Miller's Batman in that suit. That is. Okay? The boots, it is. So, initially, you don't think she's going to mesh up with that. And yet, they nailed the fact of her being an ageless beauty. Because it works. She works well with that, honestly. And her character is a lot of fun, I find. Her theme song is great. And some people knocked this for the score, saying that Zimmer phoned it in. Maybe he did. It's got the right themes that you expect from Man of Steel. There's no discernible Batman theme as far as I can tell. Nothing, like, as far as for the notable Man of Steel, Kryptonian, Lois, etc. themes, they're all there. But there's nothing for Batman, which is weird because he did the Dark Knight themes. So it's interesting to see, like, what would he come up with for a different one. And yet we didn't really get one. I'm sure we did, but I don't remember it. It's unfortunate. Wonder Woman, her theme's awesome. Her theme comes in a couple times, and it's great. Honestly, the first couple times, it's like, why? What is the point of this? It doesn't belong. But I didn't care. I liked it. And the funny thing with that is the music is by Zimmer and Junkie XL, Tom Holkenborg, who's a Zimmer protege who did Deadpool and Mad Max Fury Road. Did something else I'm forgetting, but I love his stuff. His music, his score, 300, Rise of an Empire. His music's awesome, pulsing, drum, rhythmic. That's Wonder Woman's theme. I feel like he did that. So I'm like, hey, it's great. So I hope he does the Wonder Woman movie, because that score's cool. Really good. She's great in the movie. I have no problem with her at all. And I think she'll be great in her own movie as Wonder Woman. So cheers to that, and just because I need a drink. So, Doomsday. Character I love. For all the wrong reasons. But he's the be-all, end-all of Superman. He was created because, screw it, let's kill him. And they went with it. That's Doomsday. That's the comic books. That's what they did. Putting Doomsday in movie 2, no matter what you do with him, is the wrong thing to do. Because it's movie 2. It's Doomsday. You don't put the be-all, end-all right away. Thanos, we still haven't gotten yet, and it's been years. It's going to be 10 years when we get that. It's going to be a long, good payoff. Doomsday might not be the proper end. You might want a Darkseid or a Brainiac for that. But you don't put him as number 2. They did. You get either the annoying villain that you just want to hate, not because of him being a villain, but just because I hate him on screen, get him off, with Luthor. Or the 20-foot Doomsday Hulk thing that is just rawr. That's your choices. So, despite all that, I enjoyed that movie. I've talked about it now for almost 4 hours. And I want to get into spoilers. So, spoiler time. I'm talking spoilers now. There will be spoilers. I absolutely recommend this movie. Not in the fanboy way, because I was not a Man of Steel fan. Not in the Marvel way of you need to go see it. And not in the way of I like Marvel, go see this movie to whatever. Or I hate Marvel, go see it. You can like more than one thing. I liked this movie quite a bit. I enjoyed it, but it's not without its flaws. And most of the flaws are character-wise. And not a case of they got it wrong. That's a thing. But a lot of it simply is, what? Why? No. Kind of stuff. Spoiler time. I don't normally do spoilers with that, so I'll probably put an ad break in here, which I don't even normally do, but I'm going to do that. Batman kills. Michael Keaton, Batman did. He bonked that guy on the bell and dropped him down the bell tower. That guy's dead. Ryan was talking about how Batman's a murderer, and I knew that going in. Batman kills. Why does Batman kill? We never actually get that, even though it's pretty obvious. And yet, we never actually get that. There's a Robin suit covered up in like ha 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 jokes on you. And I feel that's there simply because that's Batman's reminder of the day he lost. And now he kills. Probably killed the Joker, and the one we're seeing in Suicide Squad is either 100% flashback or a new Joker. Okay, so that could be the reason he killed. Everything in that movie happened before, and now he kills. So there's that. It's also very Punisher-like, in a sense of he learned how to stop killers is to kill. Because he didn't, and now that happened, and it pushed him over the line. Now, that flies in the face of what Batman should be, because now he's no better than them. At the same time, he's been Batman for 20 years. Ish. That's said in the movie. And it's just, I mean, at some point it's going to drain and you're going to escalate. And when we see him actually doing some of his stuff, he's going after a kryptonite rock because he feels that'll be a deterrent for Superman. And he's willing to kill to get it. Because you need to kill Superman, which is the bigger threat, so by any means necessary. To quote Brooklyn Nine-Nine, cool motive, still murder. At the same time, saying Batman's a murderer because he killed these people in these ways, I don't agree with, and I know that's the hardest argument I'm going to win. I'm probably not going to win it, but hear me out. When you put it on paper, yeah. It's the problem. You can't just put it on paper. You can't. If he was outright cold-blooded murdering, he'd be shooting them all in the head. He doesn't. Instead, he's fighting them, and he's not stopping them from dying. His actions are leading to them dying. He crashes one of their cars, hooks it, drags it, and flings it into another one, killing all the occupants because it explodes. This isn't a James Bond thing where they got it anyway. This guy's dead. He wrecks another car into a tanker that explodes. He actually jumps the car, Batmobile, off onto a truck and shears off like the top half of that truck. And when they cut back, there were 4 guys in the back, now there's 2. Or those guys are dead. They're dead. Now, Batman, the core concept, you could ask pretty much anybody, Batman doesn't kill. That's the ideology. That's the point. And with this, he is, because he's been driven to that point. And the movie never actually says why. Now, normally I'd be all for that, simply because I don't want the movie to hold my hand and tell me why things are happening. I want the movie to give the audience some credit. But I don't think it happened that way, because the movie doesn't do that any other time, and it hammers it right in your face with why things are happening and what's going on. Okay? So I think we lucked out on the idea of he's gone too far. Alfred does have a line talking about this kind of thing makes good men go cruel, because he's branding pedophiles that get captured and arrested, and sex traffickers. Those kind of guys. They go to prison, and they basically get murdered in prison. They get beaten and die. So he's signing their death warrant. Now, they're scum of the earth, but... What? There's history there? Like, did something happen to a Robin, or what? There's stuff. Obviously, there's stuff, and yet we don't touch on it. So things we want to see more of, we don't. And presumably it's for more movies. But the things we don't want to see more of, we do. And that's a huge problem. Batman killing, is he murdering? By definition, if you want to get that technical. But like I said, it's not a case of he's out there punishing them by shooting them all in the face. He's just going out there doing his thing, and they're happening to die. He's not stopping it. He's not going out his way to avoid it, which normally he would, which is the problem. But they're dying. He shoots a gas tank and it explodes. And he had enough time to dive up to the person beside him to save them from the fire. Which means he had time to get up onto that person and stop him and, subdue him. Right? That kind of... And that's just the flaw of the overall. And that's the problems this movie has. Lois Lane, at one point, in the beginning of the movie, sees a guy shoot her CIA, unknowingly, photographer dude, in the face. Like, from distance of me to the camera. We've seen this guy as a PMC, military contractor dude, many times. Batman's hunting him. We know he means business. He works for Luthor. At the end of the movie, she's going down some stairs, and that guy's there. Like, we see it from her POV. We see that guy. She gets to the bottom of the stairs, goes to turn around, and walk the other way. Stops and turns and goes, "Do I know you?" And reveal, it's him. And she's captured and taken to Lex. She said she had nightmares of that incident. That's not someone you go, "Do I know you" to. That's someone you walk away from. Like, that's the kind of stuff where the character is almost well done and the actor is amazing, and yet there's problems. So Batman kills. Back to that. Apparently, the whole thing is he kills because he learned killing is the only way to solve these problems. Flip that in that Superman kills one guy and realizes killing is not the way. Now, if Superman was confronting Batman about this whole killing thing, and you're going too far, you don't have to do this, I've learned from this, I killed the only thing that was my connection to my true world, and it's gone. And you're going too far and you're doing the same thing. You need to scale this back. Superman being more human and humane, and the alien actually affecting Bruce and pulling him back and being that eye-opening moment. That'd be a great thing if it happened, right? Doesn't. Another great bit would be if Lois Lane actually talked with Bruce Wayne a bit, and there was some flirtiness. Yeah, Lois and Clark love each other. Like, there's no doubt there. They're together. But if Bruce kind of tried to move in, literally, there's natural conflict between Batman and Superman now. That's not there. That's not there. Superman at one point says, I have to go talk to Batman to help save my mom. Or kill him. I guess this world makes us all bad. And flies off to fight Batman. He lands. It says, Bruce, you need to listen to me. You have to believe me. I need your help. And gets attacked by a sonar trap he set. He had plenty of time to say, Lex Luthor has my mom, you need to help me save her. Okay, not hard. He breaks the sonar trap, gets gas grenaded, brawls a bit, gets his strength back, and says, stay down. If I wanted to, you'd be dead already. Now, in those same number of syllables and time. Help me. Luthor has my mom. Oh, I didn't even take as many syllables. He had the chance to say it. Also, him threatening Batman's life, well, there's the 1% he needed, right? Literally, every time he makes a threat, he's just feeding into all his enemies. It's stupid. It's really stupid. Superman is 100% a loose cannon in this. It doesn't help that he was raised by a father who says, maybe you should have let that busload of kids die to not be exposed. Well, no, you're going to save him anyway. When his mother is talking to him before this Capitol Hill hearing and says, you're their hero, you've been their hero, you're giving them your all, you're doing what you need to do. Be their hero, be what they need, show them the right way. Or don't. You don't owe them anything. Be you. What kind of goddamn parenting is that? Ever hear of with great power comes great responsibility? Holy crap. So, yeah, that's this movie. And yet, the fighting is fantastic. The action and Amy Adams is amazing. Cavill and Affleck are great. Irons is really good. And Godot, her bit when she shows up and that music starts, I loved it. She stole the movie. And there's parts where she's fighting and her sword, they're like attacking the Kryptonian monster, which is the Zod thing, and Doomsday. And it literally, all the military weapons are making more powerful because they nuked him and he evolved a bit. And it's just feeding on it. It's an abomination. Superman's fighting it and it's not working. Batman's like, we need a Kryptonian spear. I made one. It's over there, and there's a whole thing about that being dumb. Let's go down that road. Batman's about to kill Superman because he gassed him. He's got his foot in his neck and he's going to stab him. It's finally got the chance to talk and says, you need to save Martha. Now, Superman weirdly said, you need to save Martha, not my mom. Or who from? He just happened to say the name of his mother, which is also the name of Bruce's. Martha Wayne and Martha Kent. That's a thing from the 30s that happened to be a neat thing here. Okay? You couldn't have planned that. That works out well. But it's so goddamn on the nose. I'm amazed they didn't have Martha's name tag when she's apparently still like waitressing in a little diner, I guess. They didn't show her name tag to really hammer home. That's Martha Kent. Okay. But we get in the opening flashback, which is very Watchmen-like, with the Kent, or the Waynes getting gunned down. Not even in Crime Alley, just out in the fucking street. I swear, forgive me. It's that frustrating. They're out in the street, and they get shot. And Thomas Wayne has his hand to keep Bruce back, but then balls it into a fist and gets shot. So Wayne tradition to strike first, which he does against Superman. And then Martha tries to get in front of Bruce, and it's a cool thing where he puts the gun up to her and leans back, and the pearls are actually like around the thing on the gun. So when he shoots, like right there, it snaps the pearl, and they go everywhere. Really cool visual, because you get like almost like a POV of the gun with the thing. Really cool. And she goes down, and Thomas Wayne is like reaching over, and Martha's eyes go like, they go dim, and he's like, Martha. We get that 3 more times as flashbacks. That same bit, just like quickly, but that's, her name's Martha, her name's Martha, her name's Martha. In a dream, he goes to a mausoleum, Martha, he puts flowers, gets attacked, but dream. You have to save Martha. Why'd you say that name? I would have said, in many chances before, and even here, you need to save my mom. Like, okay, you have to stop him. Who? Who? Who's Martha? And who? If it wasn't the fact that that is his mom's name also, he'd be like, what are you talking about? If it was flipped and it was his dad, you need to save Jonathan. It's Thomas Wayne, so it's like, who? Still would have worked. But happened to say Martha, which stops the fight. And unlike Avengers with Thor and Iron Man, where talking doesn't alleviate anything, their personalities are clashing, so they're going to fight. And it's not mind control, which is just cheap. This fight, this whole thing, was 100% avoidable if they could just talk. And they could. A lot. Because in order to say, stay down, if I wanted to kill you, I would have already. Help me. Lex Luthor has my mother, Martha Kent. I need your help to save her. Okay. So the moment that happens, Lois actually shows up to explain that Martha is his mother. Batman stops. He's like, Martha's not dying tonight. So now Batman's gone down this like personal vindication insanity trip of he's going to redeem himself by saving Martha. Holy shit. Again, I swore, but oh, what? So that's weird, right? What the hell is that all about? Very, very odd. Very ham-fisted, on the nose. Yeah, that's bad. All right. Admittedly, very bad. My hair is bugging me. It's been a long day. So, once they get through that, it's a matter of stopping Doomsday. And this movie's very much Dark Knight Returns. But it's also Superman 75. The death of Superman. Yeah. I was worried that they got Doomsday and they wouldn't use him right. No. They used him right. They kill each other. But Superman's fine at the end. The coffin has a little bit of dust move. The end. Nothing after the credits. And the next movie, Suicide Squad, followed by Wonder Woman and Flash, and then maybe Justice League with more of this. So, they kill each other with the kryptonite spear that Batman made to kill Superman with, that Lois Lane threw into a puddle, which was a deep pool. They went back to get, realizing that was a Kryptonian monster and they would probably kill him. Got trapped and then saved by the idiot Superman, who dove into the pool of water to get the spear and floated up to the surface, out of it, saved by Lois from drowning, and then went and stabbed Doomsday. And Doomsday hit him in the chest with a spear thing of his own and died. And then I realized Lois is literally, I think, wearing the Superman out, like the outfit, and oh my god, how did I not see it? And it's like the cover and everything. It's a story I like, but it's movie 2, guys. It's movie number 2. That would be like, you got Iron Man, and then you got Avengers, and in that you do the Infinity Gauntlet. No, they're going to take 10 years to get there. You got to build up to that. You got to make little threats to make the big ones make sense. God. During that fight, Wonder Woman gets knocked down at one point. And is actually kind of like smiling and getting into it. Not getting off on it, but just enjoying the fact of an actual challenge in a fight. Because she'd been kind of gone for a long time. So that's good. She stole the movie from me. And Eisenberg almost ruined it. But this movie, to sum it up, a lot of people call it a garbage fire of a movie. And it's not. And yet I wouldn't really try to talk anybody out of that. In this weird way. 7 out of 10, but I understand your 3. It is kind of it, right? It is kind of what I'm saying. I wrote this down because he's like, you need to write this down, and I like the line. It's like, it's a garbage fire. I'm like, no. It's things you don't want to see in a garbage fire. In a garbage fire. And only Batman can save them. Make sense? That's this movie. This is a lot longer than a normal Hyperbole is, but it deserved it. Now, I do plan to GPC it, and it's going to be a lot different from this. I already have the thing worked out. I actually had the idea worked out before I even saw this, and it's even better now. It's probably years away with the characters involved. But it will be a one-on-one. Me versus someone else. Actor-wise. But do I recommend this movie? 100%. If you liked Man of Steel at all, I recommend it. And I've even heard people saying they love Man of Steel and didn't like this. As Amy Adams said, you need to define your own opinion for yourself. And yet, as Ryan said, no you don't. You don't need to know Catwoman looks bad to know that it is bad. And that's always been my one. I'm like, you know what, you're right. To think a movie looks bad and to have it confirmed without seeing it, unfortunately can happen. And I don't like that fact, but it is very true. At the same time, I'd much rather people actually see it for themselves because I took everything those people said and went in looking for it, going, is it really? No, it's not. Batman's a murderer. Well, on paper, yeah, but in context, okay, they're still dying on his watch, but he's not trying to kill them. He's just not trying to avoid it. And that whole thing, the whole idea that Superman might be a threat because of what he did in Collateral Damage when he learned how this whole thing works. Batman, in trying to get the kryptonite rock, or even during the fight, has more collateral damage of his own. It's on a smaller scale, yes, but he knows it's happening. It's a means to an end. That's worse. So I will go out of my way and sacrifice anyone I have to stop the being that could destroy us all in his carelessness. Neither of these are good people. So it's a garbage fire, but there's things in there you don't want to burn and don't belong in there, and Batman has to save them. That's this movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It's gonna be affected a lot by how the box office is, and like Zack Snyder said, the audience needs to get past the critics and just actually see it, and the box office will show their feelings of it. No, it won't. It just shows how much they want to see it. Don't forget, this is an industry based on buying in first. They're going to see it, and if they go back again or have word of mouth tank it, they're not going back. Week 2 will be your indication of quality. This is not it. This is simply people want to see it. Transformers is not the #1 movie in the year for a couple times in a row because of how good they are. It's because people want to see it, and then they do, and pay for it. Just because you bought a pizza and got something rancid delivered does not indicate that you enjoyed the pizza. You paid for it, and pizza sales are good, but pizza quality is not there. That's something to remember with this. Just saying ticket sales are there, that means it's good. No, that means people wanted to see it. Rotten Tomatoes is 20-something%, but the wish list rating is like 97. So that's it. Throat's raw. It's almost 4 in the morning. I got to figure this out and close this and upload it. Thank you very much for watching. Spoiler is over. See you next time. I don't know what the next movie is. GBC 101 is coming.